Did you know there's a powerful male supplement at the pharmacy that costs less than 10 cents? I'm not exaggerating, just 10 cents. Yet it can reignite energy, confidence, and vitality in men over 60. What's even more surprising is that most doctors never mention it. No expensive injections, no complicated prescriptions, just a tiny tablet that could change your life. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you woke up feeling truly refreshed? Many men your age sleep for 8 hours but still wake up tired. Afternoon fatigue sets in, and by night, all you want is to lie down. You tell yourself it's just aging, but deep down, you know something's missing. That spark, that energy that wants to find you, it's fading. I've met countless men in their 60s who whisper the same frustration. "Doctor, my body feels fine, but I have no drive left." The truth? It's not your heart, not your prostate. It's your cells crying out for the most overlooked nutrient of all, vitamin B complex. Today, I'm revealing how this humble, generic vitamin, just 10 cents a tablet, has transformed the lives of my patients. Men who once felt powerless now feel decades younger. Their energy returned, their confidence restored, their relationships rekindled. Stay with me until the end, because this might just be the simplest, safest, and most affordable solution you've been searching for all along. Before we begin, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another simple, life-changing health tip like this one. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments to show your support. If you think I can do better, type 0. Your feedback helps me keep improving for you. All right, let's get into the truth behind this powerful yet overlooked secret. Many men don't realize that the real reason for their fading strength, low energy, and poor circulation isn't age itself. It's a simple vitamin deficiency that slowly drains vitality from every cell in the body. 1. The hidden power of vitamin B complex. The 2,000 rupee secret doctors rarely mention. When I first discovered this little secret, I almost couldn't believe it myself. A small tablet sitting quietly on the dusty shelf of a neighborhood pharmacy, costing no more than 2,000 rupiah, barely the price of a cup of coffee, yet holding the power to completely change how a man over 60 feels every single day. No flashy packaging, no celebrity endorsements, no exaggerated promises, just a simple, humble vitamin B complex. I remember the first time I recommended it to one of my patients, a retired school principal named Mr. Sutrisno. He came into my clinic looking defeated with heavy eyes and slow movements. "Doctor," he said, "I feel like an old car with a good engine but no fuel." His test results were perfect. Blood sugar normal, cholesterol under control, heart healthy, even his prostate was fine. Yet he felt constantly exhausted, unmotivated, and disconnected, and I knew exactly what was missing. At his age, his body's ability to absorb vitamin B had dropped dramatically, nearly 40% lower than it was in his younger years. To make matters worse, some of the medications he took every day, like metformin for diabetes or acid blockers for his stomach, were quietly interfering with the little vitamin B that still managed to enter his system. The result? His cells were starving for the very ingredient they needed to produce energy. His body had the machinery, but no spark to ignite it. That's where vitamin B complex steps in. Each tiny tablet contains a blend of B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, and folate, each one playing a vital role in energy metabolism, nerve health, and hormone balance. Think of them as the mechanics of your body's engine, tuning up each part so it runs smoothly again. Within just a few weeks, something remarkable happens. The brain feels sharper, the muscles respond quicker, and the entire system starts to hum with life again. When Mr. Sutrisno returned 3 weeks later, his smile said everything. He looked years younger. "Doctor," he laughed, "I feel like someone replaced my batteries." And I couldn't help but smile back because I'd seen it before, dozens of times. These results aren't magic, they're biology. When your body gets the nutrients it's been silently craving, it rewards you with energy, clarity, and a renewed sense of vitality that no expensive pill can fake. I've seen this transformation over and over. Men who once accepted fatigue and weakness as a normal part of aging suddenly realizing that feeling old isn't destiny, it's chemistry. When your cells are properly fueled, you rediscover the version of yourself you thought was gone for good. The man who wakes up early, walks tall, laughs easily, and looks at his wife with warmth again. And here's what makes it even more surprising. That same vitamin B complex tablet doesn't just restore energy, it quietly repairs something far more intimate, something every man notices but few dare to talk about. Because when your blood flow improves and your hormones rebalance, another kind of strength begins to return. One that reignites confidence, passion, and connection in ways most men never expect. Let's talk about that next. 2. Restoring blood flow and male vitality. How vitamin B complex works like nature's own plumber. I'll never forget the look on Mr. Agus's face the day he returned to my clinic. He's a 62-year-old retired bank officer from Bandung, a man who once described himself as running on empty. But that day his cheeks had color again, his posture was straighter, and his grin was almost mischievous. "Doctor," he said, trying to hide his excitement, "my wife says I'm like a newlywed again." His secret? 3 weeks of a simple, inexpensive vitamin B complex. No blue pills, no injections, just nature, restored. Here's what most men don't realize. The first thing vitamin B complex repairs isn't your muscles or your nerves. It's your blood flow, especially vitamin B3, also known as niacin. Think of it as a plumber for your circulatory system. Over the years, cholesterol, stress, and poor diet narrow your pipes, making it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach your organs. Yes, including the one that defines manhood. Niacin gently widens those blood vessels, cleans out blockages, and improves elasticity, allowing blood to move freely again. For many of my patients, it's like opening a long clogged faucet and watching the water finally gush out. That improved circulation doesn't just energize your muscles, it reawakens the intimate part of your body that many men thought was gone forever. When the blood flow returns, sensitivity returns, warmth returns, connection returns. One of my patients, a 67-year-old former soldier named Mr. Bam Bang, told me that after 2 months of consistent use, he felt as if his body had turned back the clock 10 years. "Doctor," he said, eyes glistening, "my wife looks at me differently now. She says I'm more attentive, more alive." That's not coincidence. That's the quiet work of B vitamins, especially B6, which helps your body restore testosterone naturally. Most men don't know that after the age of 40, testosterone levels decline by about 1% per year. By the time you reach 60, you've lost nearly 20% of the hormone that drives your vitality, confidence, and masculine energy. Vitamin B6 supports the enzymes that regulate this hormone, helping your body produce what it's missing, not through chemicals, but through balance. It's not about becoming someone new, it's about becoming yourself again. And here's what makes this truly beautiful. When your blood flow improves and your hormones find equilibrium, the effects ripple through your entire life. You sleep better, you laugh more easily, you feel present again. You stop dragging yourself through the day and start living it. This is what I love most about my work, not just treating illness, but witnessing rebirth. Because when a man rediscovers his vitality, he doesn't just heal his body, he heals his relationships, his purpose, and his joy. But what if I told you that this same little vitamin, this tablet worth barely 2,000 rupiah, can also repair the nervous system itself, reigniting sensitivity and control in ways that many men believe are lost forever? The answer to that might surprise you even more. Let's talk about it next. 3. Repairing the nerves and bringing back sensation. The magic of vitamin B12. There's something deeply moving about watching a man rediscover parts of himself he thought were gone forever. I remember one of my patients, Mr. Hendra, a 68-year-old retired soldier from East Jakarta. When he first came to see me, he sat quietly for a moment before finally saying, "Doctor, it's been over a year. I can't feel anything down there. It's like my body forgot what it means to be alive." His voice trembled slightly, and I could tell it wasn't just about physical loss. It was about the quiet erosion of confidence, of identity. For many men, that kind of numbness isn't just in the body, it creeps into the soul. So I looked him in the eye and said, "Mr. Hendra, your body isn't broken. It's just asking for the right tools to heal." And that tool, surprisingly, came in the form of a small tablet containing vitamin B12. This particular vitamin is like an electrician for your nervous system. It helps repair the insulation called the myelin sheath that covers your nerve fibers. With age, and often with high blood sugar or long-term medication use, that insulation wears thin, like an old electrical wire whose coating has cracked. Signals slow down or get lost completely, leaving parts of the body unresponsive. Vitamin B12 doesn't work overnight, but when taken consistently, it begins rebuilding those tiny, delicate fibers that carry sensation from your skin, your muscles, and yes, even your most private parts, back to your brain. About 6 weeks later, Mr. Hendra came back. This time, his face carried a smile that needed no words. He leaned in, speaking softly, almost embarrassed. "Doctor," he whispered, "it's alive again." Even more sensitive than before, his wife, he added, had noticed too. The sparkle in his eyes that day reminded me why I do what I do. Because it's never just about medicine. It's about restoring dignity, confidence, and the quiet happiness that comes from feeling whole again. That's the gift of vitamin B12. It doesn't just bring back physical sensation, it reawakens emotional connection. When your nerves heal, you feel more present, more grounded, more yourself. Suddenly, the warmth of your partner's touch means something again. You move not out of obligation, but out of desire. It's as if life starts to flow through you once more. And the best part? This healing doesn't stop at intimacy. When your nerves regenerate, everything improves. Your reflexes, your balance, even your mood. You think more clearly, your memory sharpens, and your body responds like it used to. You start noticing the small things again. The cool air on your skin, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the laughter of your grandchildren. That's what real rejuvenation feels like. But there's still one piece missing from this puzzle, the very foundation of energy itself. Because even if your blood flows well and your nerves are sharp, without this, your body can't sustain true strength or vitality. In the next part, we'll explore how a few key vitamins inside that same 2,000 rupiah tablet can reignite your body's energy factory from the inside out, and why that might be the real secret to feeling young again. 4. Reigniting the body's energy factory. How vitamin B1 and B2 bring back real strength. Every time I talk to older men about fatigue, I see the same look in their eyes. A quiet frustration, a kind of exhaustion that sleep can't fix. They tell me, "Doctor, I rest, I eat well, but I still wake up tired." It's not just in their muscles, it's in their spirit. They used to work long hours, build homes, raise families, and still have energy left to laugh at the end of the day. Now they wake up already drained. I've heard this story hundreds of times, and almost every time the root of it leads back to the same place. A slow, silent breakdown of the body's energy system. That's where vitamin B1, thiamine, and B2, riboflavin, come in. These two are the unsung heroes of vitality. Inside every cell in your body lives a small structure called the mitochondrion, the energy factory. Its job is to take the food you eat and turn it into ATP, the pure energy your muscles and organs run on. But as you age and as your vitamin levels decline, those factories start to sputter. They're still there, but they've lost their spark plugs. Vitamin B1 and B2 are those missing sparks. They reignite your metabolism, helping your body turn nutrients into the clean, steady energy that makes you feel alive again. I remember Mr. Joko, a 66-year-old retired teacher from Bandung. When he first came to see me, he told me his afternoons were a struggle. By 3 p.m., he said, "I'm asleep on the couch. My grandchildren ask me to play, and I just don't have the energy." We started him on a daily dose of vitamin B complex, nothing fancy, just one small tablet after breakfast. 2 weeks later, he walked into my clinic with a wide grin. "Doctor," he said, "I rode a bike with my grandson until sunset yesterday. I didn't even realize how much time had passed." That, to me, is the beauty of true energy. It doesn't just wake up your body, it wakes up your joy. The difference between caffeine energy and mitochondrial energy is like the difference between a spark and a sunrise. Caffeine burns fast and leaves you empty. But when your cells start producing real energy again, it's smooth, lasting, and deeply satisfying. You don't crash, you don't fake it, you simply move through your day with quiet strength, the kind that makes you feel young again. And there's something else that happens once your metabolism comes back to life. Your mood starts to lift. You think more clearly. You stop snapping at small things, you laugh more easily. Because the same cellular energy that fuels your muscles also powers your brain. It's a whole body revival, not just a physical one. That's why I always tell my patients, energy is not about stimulation, it's about restoration. When your body is properly fueled, it doesn't just function, it flourishes. And once you've reignited that inner fire, another transformation begins, one that happens quietly inside your mind and heart. Because when your body has energy, your mood, focus, and memory start to heal too. And that, my friends, is where the story gets even more powerful. 5. Lifting mood, focus, and memory. How vitamin B complex heals the mind as well as the body. There's a moment I've seen many times in my clinic. A man sits across from me looking not just tired, but dimmed. His body might be getting stronger, his energy improving, but there's still a heaviness behind his eyes. He tells me, "Doctor, I don't get angry like before, but I also don't feel much of anything." It's like the joy is gone, and that right there is where the deeper story of vitamin B complex begins. Because this tiny tablet doesn't only recharge the body, it quietly repairs the chemistry of the mind. You see, the same B vitamins that help produce physical energy are also responsible for producing emotional energy. Vitamins like B6, B9, and B12 are essential for creating serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, the neurotransmitters that regulate mood, focus, and mental clarity. When you're deficient, life starts to lose color. You wake up without motivation. You forget small things. You get irritated over details that never used to bother you. You might even stop laughing at the things that once brought you joy. I've seen it so often that I can almost sense the deficiency before the lab results confirm it. One of my favorite stories is from a man named Mr. Deddy, a 63-year-old small business owner from Medan. He came in one afternoon, his wife sitting quietly beside him. "Doctor," she said gently, "he's not himself anymore. He gets upset over the smallest things. He used to make jokes with the children, now he just sits and stares. I started him on a course of vitamin B complex, one small tablet every morning. 3 weeks later, his wife returned with tears in her eyes. He's laughing again," she said. "He's patient. He's even singing in the shower like he used to." That kind of recovery can't be faked. It comes from inside, from balance being restored. When your body finally gets enough B vitamins, something magical happens inside your brain. The fog lifts. The thoughts that used to feel scattered start lining up again. You remember names, details, small things that make life meaningful. You stop reacting and start responding. Your world becomes clearer, lighter, more manageable. And when your mind begins to calm, your relationships change too. You listen more. You connect deeper. You feel present again in your own life. I often tell my patients, when you heal your chemistry, you heal your character. Because irritability, forgetfulness, and emotional distance are not personality flaws. They're symptoms of imbalance. And what's even more beautiful is that as the brain begins to find peace, the rest of the body follows. Sleep deepens, digestion improves, and the spark of happiness that once seemed lost begins to glow again. But here's the best part. This transformation doesn't stop with the mind. When your hormones, nerves, and energy all start working in harmony, something even more profound begins to happen deep within your body. It's a change most men notice but can't quite explain. A newfound stability, strength, and control that touches every part of their life. And that's exactly what we'll uncover next. 6. The whole body transformation. From deeper sleep to stronger hair and better digestion. When a man begins to heal from the inside, the changes often come quietly at first. I've had patients who call me after a few weeks, puzzled by the small improvements they start to notice. They say, "Doctor, I don't wake up at night as often anymore," or "My stomach feels lighter in the morning," or even, "My wife said my hair looks thicker." At first, they think it's coincidence, but it's not. That's the beauty of vitamin B complex. It doesn't just work in one place, it works everywhere. It doesn't just restore energy, it rebuilds balance throughout the entire body. When your cells start functioning properly again, every system begins to communicate more clearly. Vitamin B5 and B12, for example, play a powerful role in supporting your adrenal glands, the part of your body that controls stress hormones. When those hormones settle, your body finally gets the signal that it's safe to rest. That's why so many of my patients tell me their sleep improves. They fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling refreshed for the first time in years. And because vitamin B6 helps regulate melatonin, the sleep hormone, the effect only deepens with time. It's not a drug-induced drowsiness, it's the return of the body's natural rhythm. Then there's the digestive system. Something many men don't realize is tied directly to vitamin B levels. Vitamins like B1, B2, and B3 help the stomach and intestines process food efficiently, turning nutrients into fuel instead of waste. When digestion improves, bloating fades, bowel movements become regular, and nutrients are absorbed more effectively. You start to feel lighter, cleaner, more in tune with your own body, and when your gut works better, your mood follows, because 90% of your serotonin, your happiness hormone, is produced right there in your digestive tract. It's all connected. Even the smallest details begin to change. Nails grow stronger, hair stops falling as much, skin regains its tone and glow. It's subtle at first, but by the third or fourth week, men often tell me their friends or even their grandchildren start to comment, "Grandpa, you look younger." I've seen that spark of pride return to their eyes, that quiet smile of a man who finally feels like himself again. Because real rejuvenation isn't about looking young, it's about feeling alive, steady, and strong in your own skin. What touches me most is how these changes ripple through the lives of those around them. When a man sleeps well, digests well, and feels confident again, his energy spreads to his family. His wife notices. His children notice. Even his friends start asking, "What's your secret?" And when he answers, it's never about magic, it's about consistency, patience, and a simple vitamin that costs less than a cup of tea. But there's still one more truth I need to share, something most men don't realize until it's almost too late. Because even with all these benefits, there's a dangerous mistake many make when trying to reclaim their strength, something that can undo all the progress they've built. And that's exactly what I'll reveal next. 7. The real secret to lasting strength, consistency, and the mindset that changes everything. Whenever I talk to my older patients about health, there's one thing I always emphasize: the body can heal, but only if the mind allows it to. Too many men give up before their transformation even begins. They try something for a week, don't feel an instant miracle, and say, "Doctor, maybe it's just old age." But I've learned over the years that what separates those who truly change from those who don't isn't the medicine they take, it's their consistency, their belief that healing takes time and discipline. I think of Mr. Ramit, a 70-year-old patient from Semarang. When he first came to me, he was skeptical. "Doctor," he said, holding an article about an expensive imported supplement, "how could something that costs only 2,000 rupiah possibly work?" I smiled and asked him to give it 1 month. "Trust the process," I told him. "Your body has been running on empty for years. Let's refill the tank slowly." He agreed, though half-heartedly. When he returned 3 months later, he didn't come empty-handed. He brought a cake. It was his 45th wedding anniversary. "Doctor," he said proudly, "I'm not just feeling better. I feel alive again. My wife says it's like the early days of our marriage." That's when I realized that vitamin B complex had given him more than energy. It had given him hope. Consistency does that. It turns small, invisible efforts into powerful results. It's not about taking a pill once and waiting for magic. It's about showing up every day for your health, the same way you once showed up for your family, your work, your responsibilities. When men finally understand this, their energy doesn't just return, it stays. The B vitamins build up in your system, nourishing your cells, repairing your nerves, balancing your hormones, and teaching your body to function at its best again. That kind of transformation doesn't fade. It grows stronger with time. And here's what I want every man over 60 to remember. Your golden years are not meant to be a slow decline. They're meant to be a reward, a time when your wisdom and vitality work together. You've spent decades taking care of others. Now it's time to take care of yourself. With the right mindset, every day becomes an opportunity to rebuild, to strengthen, to enjoy the life you've earned. But as inspiring as this sounds, there's one crucial mistake many men still make when they start feeling better. A mistake that can quietly undo months of progress if ignored. It's something I see far too often in my clinic, and most don't realize it until it's too late. So, before you rush to the pharmacy or start your new routine, let me warn you about this one hidden danger that could stand between you and the healthy, powerful life you deserve. 8. The costly mistake most men make, and why quick fixes can steal your health. Over the years, I've seen a pattern that breaks my heart. A man comes into my clinic frustrated by fatigue, low desire, or fading energy. Instead of healing the root cause, he's been chasing shortcuts, strong pills from overseas, instant boosters, or mysterious tonics sold online with promises of overnight power. He spends hundreds of thousands of rupiah, sometimes even millions, hoping for a miracle. And for a few hours, maybe he feels it. His blood pressure spikes, his heart races, and he mistakes that rush for strength. But the next day, he's weaker than before. What he doesn't realize is that every quick fix he takes is silently draining the very system he's trying to restore. I remember one patient, Mr. Faisal, a 64-year-old retired engineer. He came to me after months of taking imported pills that claimed to increase stamina instantly. "Doctor," he said, "it works for one night, but the next day I feel dizzy and my chest feels tight." I checked his blood pressure. It was dangerously high. His heart had been pushed beyond its limit. Those pills didn't give him energy, they stole it from his future. I told him something that I tell every man his age. Real strength doesn't come from chemicals. It comes from chemistry. Your own natural balance working in harmony. The difference between a quick fix and true healing is like the difference between fire and sunlight. Fire burns hot, fast, and leaves ashes behind. Sunlight warms gently, steadily, giving life to everything it touches. Vitamin B complex is sunlight. It rebuilds your energy from within, cell by cell, day by day. It doesn't force your body, it teaches it to remember how to thrive. That's why it's safe to take long-term, unlike artificial stimulants that exhaust your heart and nervous system. The slow path may seem less dramatic, but it's the only one that lasts. I've met too many men who regret chasing that instant power. Some even end up in the hospital, their hearts racing uncontrollably, wishing they had chosen patience instead of speed. It's painful to watch because their intentions were good. They just wanted to feel alive again. But what they needed wasn't intensity, it was consistency. And the truth is, when you feed your body the right nutrients, when you rest, move, and care for it daily, that feeling of strength doesn't vanish. It grows. You stop depending on pills and start depending on yourself again. That's what real vitality looks like. So if you've ever been tempted by the promise of instant results, I want you to pause and remember this. Anything that works too fast usually fades just as quickly. Your body deserves better. It deserves patience, nourishment, and respect. Because when you give it time to heal the right way, it rewards you with something far greater than performance. It gives you lasting freedom. And once that freedom begins, something beautiful happens next. You start to see that aging isn't the enemy, it's an invitation. Because the final step in this journey isn't just about being strong, it's about living fully, with joy, purpose, and love in every moment you have left. And that's exactly what I'll share with you next. 9. The Golden Years Reimagined, turning age into strength, not surrender. There's a moment in every man's life when he looks in the mirror and wonders where the time went. The face staring back carries lines of wisdom. The hair has turned silver and the body doesn't move quite as easily as before. Some men look at that reflection with sadness, believing their best days are behind them. But others, those who choose to fight for their health, to nourish their body instead of giving up on it, discover something extraordinary. They realize that getting older doesn't mean losing power. It means learning how to use it differently. I've watched so many men in their 60s and 70s transform before my eyes, not through surgery or expensive treatments, but through small, steady acts of care. It starts with something as humble as a vitamin B complex tablet, a morning walk, a good night's sleep, a balanced breakfast. Over time, these little things stack up until one day, a man who once felt weak finds himself alive again, standing taller, laughing louder, feeling proud of the life he's built. His wife notices, his children notice, and most importantly, he notices. That spark that once defined his youth doesn't disappear with age. It only needed to be reignited. I often think about my patient, Mr. Ramat, who told me something I'll never forget. "Doctor," he said, "I used to think turning 70 meant slowing down. But now I see it's about enjoying life with the energy and peace I never had time for before." That sentence stayed with me because the truth is, when you care for your body, it gives you back something far greater than stamina. It gives you presence. You become more aware, more grateful, more alive in every moment. Your golden years are not a countdown. They're a celebration. You've survived, learned, and loved your way to this stage of life. Now, with the right nourishment and mindset, it's time to live it fully. Vitamin B complex may seem small, but it represents something powerful. The decision to take control of your health, to choose strength over surrender. And once you make that choice, the years ahead don't feel like a decline. They feel like a reward. So if you're watching this right now and thinking it's too late, let me tell you, it's not. Your body is listening. It's waiting for you to give it what it needs to heal. You can rebuild your energy, restore your confidence, and relight that inner flame that once made you feel unstoppable. You just have to start. And as we move into the final part of this journey, I want to share something even deeper, a truth that goes beyond vitamins, beyond medicine, beyond science itself. It's about what really keeps a man alive, even when the years keep adding up. Because the secret to lasting vitality isn't just in what you take, it's in what you believe. Let me explain. 10. The final message: hope, healing, and the choice to live fully. When I look back on all the stories I've witnessed, the fathers, grandfathers, and husbands who walked into my clinic feeling defeated but left with a new fire in their eyes, I'm reminded that healing isn't just about medicine. It's about rediscovering the part of yourself that refuses to give up. Every man who chose to believe in the simple power of consistent care, who gave his body what it needed instead of what it craved, found something greater than strength. He found freedom. You see, this entire journey from the first 2,000 rupiah tablet to the return of vitality, passion, and peace has never been about the pill itself. It's about what that small act represents. It's a decision to no longer surrender to time, to stop saying I'm too old and start asking, what else can I do to live better? That single choice to take one tablet, to walk every morning, to eat with purpose, becomes the foundation for transformation. The body listens, it responds, and when it does, something beautiful unfolds. Energy returns, confidence follows, and life becomes colorful again. I've seen men who once avoided mirrors now standing taller, buttoning their shirts with pride, and looking at their wives the way they did decades ago. I've seen families grow closer because a husband finally has the patience to laugh instead of argue, the energy to play instead of rest, the heart to connect instead of retreat. That's what real healing does. It doesn't just change the body, it heals the bond between people. It brings back warmth to homes that had grown quiet. If you've watched this far, I want you to remember one thing. Aging is not the enemy. Neglect is. You can't stop the years from passing, but you can decide how those years will feel. You can wake up with pain or wake up with purpose. You can slow down or choose to rise again, one step, one tablet, one habit at a time. And if there's one truth I've learned as a doctor, it's that the human body is far more forgiving than we give it credit for. It just needs you to meet it halfway. So tomorrow morning, before you start your day, take a moment for yourself. Drink a glass of water, have a good breakfast, and take that simple vitamin B complex tablet. Not because it's a miracle pill, but because it's a promise to live fully, to keep moving forward, to never stop becoming the man you were meant to be. And in my next message, I'll share something even more powerful, A gentle daily movement that, when combined with what you've learned today, can make your heart stronger and your body younger from the inside out. Because your story doesn't end here. It's just beginning.